Am I the only person who finds it hard to make friends? Every time I've looked for advice on this, it was always catered towards older people. But even at school and university, I felt this way when this was meant to be the easiest time to make friends. Now, this isn't a pity party. I mean, from the outside looking in, I did have friends. At university, for example, I had people to go out with and I socialised with them a lot. The thing is though, not all friendships are created equal. There's a difference between having people to go out with and having real connection. And that was the problem. They felt like surface friendships that didn't hold true meaning. I've always thought that one of the worst feelings in the world is to be surrounded by lots of people and to feel alone. And that's because I felt it so many times. I felt like I was missing out on a key ingredient to living. I want to feel in life how I feel when I watch a Pixar movie. I want to feel joy. I want to have soul. I want it to be heartfelt. And I know it comes down to meaningful connection. So how do we find a friendship that is meaningful? After all, we come into contact with so many people every day. And with social media, the ability to connect has never been easier. Something that I've had to learn is to be open to new possibilities and new ideas. It's easy to think that we have to be on the same walk of life to meet people, that we will meet these people at school or at our jobs, and that was just not the case for me. At one point, I also thought I'd find these relationships from having similar interests. And of course, having similar interests like food or music does help, but it's not the interests themselves that bring closeness. It's the shared feeling of joy. And you don't need to have the same hobbies to create experience. But something that you do need is being open-minded and to not get stuck in your ways. The reality is, meaningful connection can come from even the most unexpected of places. Someone from a completely different background, someone who is far older or far younger than you, and even someone who thinks or feels completely different to you. We can sometimes bring out the best in each other through our differences. I was often too quick to judge others. I had to be open to who other people were. We might meet someone and think they're really weird, but what if we are open-minded and curious about them instead? We will never meet people who are exactly like us, and sometimes it's more exciting to find out who other people are than to just make assumptions about them. Every time we judge someone, we close the door on a possible connection. Not everyone we meet will become a valued person in our lives, but there's potential in everyone we meet to become a valued person. Everyone is worthy of love and connection. Society tells us that those connections should come from friends, but I've also learned that it can come from family. A parent, a grandparent, a sibling. Those long-lasting relationships were given to us at birth, but it doesn't just have to be a blood relation. Overall, I let go of what I thought real connections should look like, and I embraced them for what they actually are. I also realised that in order to make real connections, I had to be real. It's easy to think that in order to connect with people more, we have to try and change ourselves to conform to what's more widely acceptable. But what if we're all trying to conform, and that's why it's so hard to access authenticity? What if we're selling our souls in the pursuit of acceptance? We don't always have to be the best versions of ourselves, and we also don't have to be the loudest, the most intimidating, the funniest, or the most popular. And sometimes that means we have to get to know ourselves. This was definitely the case for me. I had to find my own talents, my own skills, interests, and values, and find the confidence to be myself so that others could see me. Another big part of being ourselves is being vulnerable. It's scary being open and honest with others, letting them see our emotions and what makes us human. Sometimes it means having hard and uncomfortable conversations, but sometimes it's those deep conversations that can really help us to see each other. It's in that way that we will find the people who will laugh with us and cry with us. We'll find the people who stand the test of time. And we also need to be open when people share a piece of their heart with us. We have to validate how they feel. True friends are there for each other and want the best for each other. They show affection and they're also open to receiving it. I've realised it's not just about talking about your emotions. It's also just about changing the conversation. Changing the conversation from, "What are you doing this weekend?" or talking about the weather, to conversations about life. Or it could just be about changing the conversation from being all about you to taking a genuine interest in others, giving them a chance to share their story. I'm learning over time to be a better listener and to be a part of the conversation that's happening in real life rather than the conversation that's going on in my head. We can't keep thinking, what's in it for me, or what can I get out of this? Instead, we should be thinking, what can I do for them? A connection with someone else isn't about networking or productivity or goals. It's about two human beings coming together and experiencing life. And even though we may not be on the same journey, we can be there for each other as we navigate on our own journeys. We can and we should be good neighbours. There are always ways that we can help each other, and whether it's a small act of service like helping someone with the groceries or visiting the elderly or something much bigger, helping others can always bring about real connection. You may even help someone who is in even more need of human connection than you. Showing up for someone when they need it, and also knowing who you can count on, means that you're a team. You're supporting each other and being part of the big adventure that is life. We just have to close our eyes and have faith in people. And sometimes it won't work out. Not all connections are meant to last forever, and we can reminisce and smile at the good times. We can leave things behind in our childhoods and smile knowing they happened as we keep moving forward. We can't let experiences where it didn't work out hold us back, because these experiences are not a life sentence to being alone. And that's what I've learnt. It was fine for me to wave goodbye to the past and realise that my journey was just headed in a different direction. We're lucky in many ways that we can always talk to people at the click of a button, but we need to put down the phone and technology and have real human exchange. Technology hasn't replaced relationships, even though it does help us keep in touch. I've realised that I have to make the time for people and unplug. Maybe being busy was what held me back from connection. Maybe it's not about finding new people, but making the time for people that are already in our lives and say yes to more. Sometimes we're just so focused on our goals and our dreams that we don't make time for what truly matters. We need to appreciate the people who are always there for us without feeling like we have to constantly chase other things. So, meaningful connection can help with our overall well-being, our self-worth, our connection to humanity, our happiness, and just help us thrive. It's a basic human need. We all want love and acceptance, and it takes time. These actions of creating meaning and being a good friend take effort, vulnerability, consistency, and patience. It takes time to break down those superficial boundaries to find something real that's worth holding on to. And if you can't find it, just keep trying. Continue seeking to find another soul to connect with. Find connections that bring you love and make you love life even more. It's never too late to make friends and to have adventures and to feel like you're truly living.